This is Job 1 and 9. Then Satan answered the Lord Yahweh and said, do Job fear the Most High for naught? Verse 10. Hast thou made a hedge about him and about his house and about all that he hath on every side, thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land.
Now read it again. Now it's lagging. Well, double check. Make sure it's not just your phone. Read it again. Just keep reading. So
it says, hast not thou made an hedge about him and about his house and about all that he have on every side? Thou hast blessed the work of his hands. And his.
So now who's saying this? This is Satan. So read.
Has not thou made a hedge about him and about his house?
Hast thou not made a hedge? Meaning he took, like, Job was protected. He got angels guarding him, and he's like, Lord, this Job is still serving you. Everything's still going well for him. If you want to take away all these things away from him, you're going to see what's going to happen. Right?
It says, thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land. But put forth the hand now, and touch all that he hath, and he will curse thee to thy face. And the Lord Yahweh said unto Satan, behold, all that he hath in thy power, only upon himself put not forth thine hand. Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord Yahweh.
Most I get said the instruction, like, look, go ahead and tempt Job. Take everything he have, and we'll see if he's going to curse me to my face. And the point was, Satan had been breaking people for ages, and he had to get a person's mind. And Satan, he like, well, if you do it like this, he's definitely going to break. He's doing too good. You know what? The Lord already know. Like, look, saying Job ain't gonna crack because I put this Job. But the point is, you know, anybody say they have faith when everything is going well. Your faith is shown when you face opposition. You face and keep going. Go ahead.
That was
Yeah, bring it up.
Revelation chapter 1 verse 9. I, John, who also am your brother and companion in tribulation and in the kingdom and patience of Yahushua HaMashiach, was in the isle that is called Patmos, for the word of Yahweh and the testimony, and for the testimony of Yahushua HaMashiach. The reason I brought that out is because the topic is tribulation and patience. And John himself, John the Revelator, is saying that in the companion in tribulation, affliction, and in the kingdom of patience, which is suffering, of Yahushua HaMashiach, you know,
in the time of forgiveness.
That's how you receive the kingdom of heaven. That's the only way, is through great tribulation, which we haven't gone through yet, which is Jacob's trouble.
When things aren't going as planned.
We're going to tribulation now, but we're gonna get the final. We're gonna get the final test, because you know when you went to school, you had a series of tests. You got me. You went to school. You took a series of tests, right? But then you had your finals, and that was the final test based on everything you learned. See if you graduate to move on to the next level. But yeah, we're being tested now, but we're going to receive that final test.
Just to say, the final test is Jacob's trouble.
Final test, Jacob's trouble.
Yeah, that's the show.
That's a show. No, that's a show.
Yeah, part of the hour of temptation.
Oh, that's
The hour of testing, which is that karagma. Because everything is going to be stripped, like the brother was going into. Everything is going to be taken from you. You know? And are you going to maintain your integrity? Which is your completeness, your wholeness. Yeah, hold fast to what thou hast. You know what I mean? Or you gonna fold. So the Lord still got tests for us. You know?
That's the only way we're gonna receive that crown and to be future king, future God.
That's the ones that passed that test. Now they got the position to rule the earth. Those are my stewards. Those are my household managers to govern the earth, faithful unto death. All right, the possessions of this world, they wasn't possessed by their possessions, which is everything, your women, your lands, your children, you know?
And you know what? People in the world, they, you know, we're not saying all of them, but
Yeah.
I guarantee there's somebody that's in the world that knows you personally trying to find out why you didn't lose your mind yet.
Yeah.
Why you ain't cracked yet.
Yep.
Because the amount of shit the Most High put us through,
Yeah,
man, they be trying, they never gonna say it out loud, but they're like, yo, and you know what too? That's a testament to the power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah. They trying to figure it out. Like, wait a minute, this person went through this. They might compare with themselves, like, damn, that was me, I lost it. Or this is no easy thing to go through. So they trying to feel like, yo, this is still carrying on. You know, no matter, and they're looking at you with admiration.
Yep.
But at the same time, you know, the demonic thoughts like take over the world again.
Yep.
Like, well, maybe this the admiration lasts for a second, then change take over the world. Hold up, motherfucker. Like maybe this bug out his mind, because they got bugged out people that could they walking barefooted in the snow, you know, at different time of in February. So they try to read to what makes sense to them, rather than the Most High being with us.
Sometimes the demon on them, the demon will jump on them and try to antagonize you to get you to crack. Let me see if I can make him fool. Let me see if I can make him straight from his righteous ways, so to speak. Yeah, make him carnal, yeah?
Yeah, you know, spirits operate differently.
Yeah.
You know, I was speaking more so in a sense like you got some Jake, they in the world, they in the dark, they stay out the way.
Right.
You know, they non-believers, but if you're in need of something, they'll help you out. They just don't believe in what you believe in too, but you know, they'll stay out the way. But then you got those ones that's non-believers, they just want to attack it out for no reason. Well, this person looks like they're not in the mood today, so you know I'm gonna just press buttons. You know, I'm gonna see if I get a reaction out of these niggas, so I can laugh at this shit. That's how some niggas think. Right.
With the forgetfulness?
Yeah.
Affliction?
Let me finish.
Rock 11:25. In the day of prosperity, there is a forgetfulness of affliction. And in the day of affliction, there is no remembrance of prosperity.
Because you catch hell you living in right now. You're not thinking about last week when everything going well.
Right.
The pain can be overbearing. You're like, damn, it's hurt right now.
Get it.
That month of hell may, 10 years. But that joy of things going well may feel like 10 seconds. Right?
For it is an easy thing unto the Lord in the day of death to reward man according to his ways. The affliction of an hour maketh...
I didn't even know I was going to say that.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
Want to speak on it?
No, let's read it.
It says, the affliction of a man... The affliction of an hour maketh a man forget pleasure. And in his end...
affliction of an hour, it can feel longer than...
Yeah.
An hour of joy may not feel like an hour. Time go by faster. You see, like, we having a good time go by fast, but when you count, time go by slow.
Yeah. When you in the book,
that's another that's another good video for a show. When you catching hell, time go by slow.
There's an actual chemical in the body. I remember my brother brought it out. It make it feel like the time is actually slower. He was talking about, when the judgment comes, the Lord will actually make it feel like you in the lake of fire. It says, the afflict hour maketh a man forget pleasure, and in his end his deeds shall be discovered. That was it.
We got something. This is Sirach chapter 2 verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright.
Check this out, right? So I googled it. So I typed in, stress make time go slower. And what came up was in the AI overview. Yes, stress can make time for, like, it's passing more slowly. This phenomenon, known as time dilation, occurs because stress can alter the perception of time, particularly in threatening or negative situations. That's it.
I was gonna say that's synonymous to when your adrenaline spikes, and it seems like everything's going slow.
Right.
So that just backs up.
Look, now here's why. Stress and a dopamine. Stress can affect the brain. A dopamine system are involved in time perception. Stress-induced a dopamine changes can distort the signals that encode time intervals, making time feel longer.
Cortisol level spikes, and everything. Your brain starts altering different signals. Yeah, so that's just backing up what the brother brought out. Your brain starts shifting and starts operating differently.
I was about to add, it's the same thing as when you're drunk, like time is slowed all the way down, and then you're like this.
Right. Your awareness goes up. Yeah.
I got it. This is Ecclesiasticus 30:23. It says, "Love thy own soul and comfort thy heart."
It says, "Love thy own soul and comfort thy own heart." Right.
It says, "Remove sorrow far from thee."
Remove sorrow far from thee. Right.
For sorrow have killed many, and there is no profits like it.
So sorrow has killed many. Now, what is sorrow? That's stress. Now, somebody can Google, can stress kill you? Or how can stress kill you? Whatever spirit guides you to type in. So read that again from the top.
This is Ecclesiasticus 30 and verse 23. "Love thy own soul and comfort thy heart."
Right. Now, what we have to comfort our heart is the scriptures. And you're gonna go through things, and yes, it's gonna hurt. But you don't stay there too long. Meditating on how things are fucked up. Yes, things are fucked up. We have two options. You can stay there and bitch about it. And look, bitching about it is not gonna change anything. So there's no point in just crying about this shit. Or if you just, let's keep moving on. Go ahead.
Let me jump up real quick. It says, verse 21, "Give not over thy mind to heaviness." And
Let a person just get consumed in their sorrow. and what happened is, that's a demon. That's a demon. You start feeling sorry for yourself. Why me? You drinking. You listen fucking sad ass songs. But that you give yourself up to demons when you do that. Yes, it hurts, and yes, you may have time where your flesh want to go there, but you gotta rebuke that shit. Go ahead.
it says, "Give not over thy mind heaviness, and afflict not thyself in thy own counsel. Matters of the heart is the life of man, and the joyfulness of a man prolong his days."
And that is true.
Yeah.
There's actually science behind that. When a person is happy, it increases long life. Whereas stress does the opposite. Now, stress shortens your days of life. Go ahead.
It says, "And the joyfulness of a man prolongeth his days. Love thy own soul and comfort thy heart. Remove sorrow far from thee, for sorrow have killed many, and there is no profit therein."
All right, let's stop. What you got?
I typed into
Speak up.
I typed into Google, "Can stress kill you?" Now it says, while acute stress doesn't directly kill you, prolonged or chronic stress.
Like acute, so what could be defined as acute stress? Now, example of acute stress is you may be at a job and heavy lifting. That may be something defined acute stress. Because, you know, you have it's stress that appears right away, but goes away too, and you relax. But stress in the mind, you don't get no relaxation from that. Because now your muscles can be under stress, and then you have a time where you sleep, and you recover. Now, if you're recovering from, you know, stress in your mind, it slowly breaks down the mechanical in your body.
That leads to depression.
And that's his depression.
Yeah.
This is 15 and 14. The spirit of a man will sustain his infirmity.
Now, before you read that, I'll read it again.
Can stress kill you from Google AI overview? While acute stress doesn't directly kill you, prolonged or chronic stress can lead significantly. Chronic stress can significantly impact your health and potentially contribute to serious conditions that shorten life expectancy. It's not the stress itself that's lethal, but the physiological and psychological consequences of unchecked long-term stress.
There you go. Now, read acute stress.
Acute stress is the stress experienced on a daily basis from minor situations. Coming in bursts, acute stress typically happens quickly and fades the situation or circumstance has passed.
Now, read chronic stress. So, acute stress is something that happened for a moment, you know, whatever, and then it goes away. You're over it. You're relieved, you know, after it. Even if you're not relieved, but you're not dwelling on it. It's not that serious when you're dwelling on it. It's something that happened, like you may start the day in a rush and you lost your wallet. That's going to be stressing on your mind. But then after that, look, whatever, you file for a replacement ID, you get a new wallet, you move on. That's the end of that. You know? Oh, you working out, that's acute stress too. And it puts stress in your body, but that's not what cause harm to the body. It's the long-term stress. So let's read chronic stress.
Chronic stress is defined as stress that persists over an extended period, including weeks or months. It's different from acute stress, which is temporary.
But you know what happened? That chronic stress, now you dwell on it. You know, you wake up thinking about it. Throughout the day, you're thinking about it. You go to bed thinking about it. Now you losing sleep. So here it is, you're trying to get 7 hours. You spend 2 hours trying to go to bed, not thinking about it. So now you only get 5 hours, it's 4 hours sleep. Trying to go to bed. You know, so now you're losing sleep. And then throughout the day, it's stressing you out even more. And what happens is it affects everything in your body. It affects organs, it affects your blood flow. You know, it affects the chemicals in your body. It affects your hormones. You know, all these things matter when it comes to stress. And within a long period of time, that leads to your death. That's why it says sorrow had killed many, because you could be in so much depression to the point it could kill you.
Yeah. I know somebody that just happened to. He caught 2 seizures back to back. He's the same age, and luckily, the Lord preserved him. And I asked him, I'm like, what you think will happen? 3 hours of sleep, and he always had he going through financial woes, but that was always on his mind, so he could barely sleep. And now I'm like, it had to be. You gotta take it easy, bro. You won't stretch yourself to death. You know?
He trying to live, but he killing himself.
Yeah.
Stress is a prolonged feeling of being overwhelmed and pressure that can last some months. It can be caused by issues at work, financial problems, or marriage troubles. Chronic stress can negatively impact a person's mental and physical state.
That's why the Lord said, let go of the thoughts that is heavy upon you. And that's all the woes. Yeah, the mortal thoughts. The earthly thoughts that don't matter. This shit is bullshit. It's temporary. But Jake and the world don't understand that concept, so they gotta uphold to the standards of America, you know. And then even the PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder from slavery, from our conditions in the hood. So people stress themselves out unto death when you can just let go, let God, so to speak, you know.
And the American dream.
Yes, because they what the media showed you, what the entertainers, you gotta have a better life. You gotta strive for this by any means. Work hard, you know.
Back in Romans chapter 11, verse 7. What then Israel hath not obtained that which he seeketh for? But the election have obtained, and the rest were blinded.
They're seeking peace.
Yeah.
But they're looking for peace in all the wrong places. Like, this is not the place of our peace. This is the place of our sorrow. You know, it's the place of our punishment. But the elect's going to receive peace because it starts with answers. Why are we going through these things? We go to the Most High, you know, and the Most High punished us, you know. But, you know, that overwhelm of stress, too, is a lack of faith. Let me get Matthew 6 and 34.
This is John 14 and 27. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give unto you. Not as the world giveth, not as the world giveth, give I unto you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it. Yeah.
And the opposite of us is peace. You're relaxed. You're not concerned.
It says, neither let it be afraid. That was
Matthew chapter 6 and verse 34.
Let's go to more thoughts right now.
Take therefore no thought for the morrow, for the morrow.
Yeah, you take it through in the morning, like, man, like, you know, I don't know how I'm gonna get this done. I don't know if this happened. You know, rent is due in a couple of weeks. Slow at work right now. You know, and you know I gotta pay this rent. You know, fridge is getting brighter. You know, but it's laughing because they know exactly what that means. That means it's getting empty. You know, when that fridge is full, for some reason it's like it's dark. You still hitting that light. That's because it's just empty. There's nothing in there.
Matthew 6 and 34. Take therefore no thought for the morrow, for tomorrow shall take thought for the things.
Let go and let God. Because, son, look, the thing is you just got to pray. And after that, look, it's beyond your payroll. Let the Most High, you know, and the Most High may have you suffer, but you're still going to be good. You know, it may not be in the most comfortable situation that you would like, but guess what? You still have. Like, in a time of famine, right? You know, look, we been eating no fucking lamb dinner, you know, with mashed potatoes and southern style mac and cheese, you know. Look, we don't know what we're gonna be eating. You know, it could be just bread and butter. But guess what? In a time of famine, a lot better than nothing. If it's in a time that people resort to cannibalism, bread and butter is gonna be a delicacy. You know, but it's still upset. The Most High fed you. Okay.
For the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof.
Yeah, so the most you got tomorrow planned out. You worry about tomorrow. Like, you can't change tomorrow, only them can. And he already planned tomorrow for you. So why stress over it? All you can do is serve the Most High and, you know, pray. That was it?
Second Ed 14 and 14. It says, let go from thee mortal thoughts.
Eat the flesh. And these are all fleshly things, not spiritual things. And these fleshly thoughts are the things that not... The fleshly thoughts are the thoughts in opposition to the word of the Most High. Like, damn, how am I going to get this done? How is this going to happen? Well, Scripture tell you to pray. And, you know, that's what Paul speaks about shit, another law of my member, or to get you know, because you know, the flesh is always in opposition to the word of the Most High. That's what Scripture says. They that is of the flesh cannot please the Most High. Because the flesh is always in opposition and contrary to the word. So that in your head, you gotta rebuke it. Okay?
It says,
let go from the mortal thoughts.
cast away the burden, man.
What is the burden? Something that's heavily loaded. And whatever's heavily loaded on your mind, let go and let God. Okay?
It says, put off now the weak nature.
That's what it's being weak. Now, not saying you have a weak moment, but you don't want to stay there. You know, it should only be a moment. And once you identify at the moment, I'm being weak, or right now I am weak, now you're looking for strength. Let me get out of this hole and climb out and fight. Because weakness doesn't fight back. So you're going to being strong and fighting back to the word. Okay?
And set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and seeks to flee.
And that's stress. And you're looking at all the things that's so fucked up in life. I'm not making enough money. I want to be at this age of my life. I don't got kids at this age of my life. I ain't got a girl. Me and my girl's not seeing eye to eye. Whatever. Look, that's not the mind state you want to be in. The best mind state to be in, count your blessings. Because look, you may not have a Benz or a BMW, but you do got your other.
Right.
And guess what? It works. It may be old and outdated. It's the point A to point B. You know, it does the job. You may not have an iPhone. You may have a Nokia phone or a bomber phone, but it's still a phone. People still reach out to you. You still have a way to have contact with people. And then maybe the Most High will bless you and you maybe can update your situation. But it's always a blessing. You got somewhere. It may not be the most comfortable place you want to rest your head, but guess what? It is shelter. You know, you're not outside in 20 degrees weather trying to warm. You know, it may be uncomfortable, but guess what? Still something. So, you know, the main blessing of all is within all this that's going on, you still have the name of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, and His Son, Yahweh Shah, along with truth.
That's right.
So as long as you're able to call on the name Yahweh, Ba'Shem Shah, count yourself as a blessing. Count it as a blessing.
Yep.
No matter the circumstance is, keep pushing. Keep pushing. You have to fight. You know, you don't stand in your back looking up to the cows passing by like, damn, how did I get here? Why me? What did I do wrong? You know, it's like if you know how to say if you could look up, you could get up. That's it.
It says, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy
That's stress.
and haste to flee from these times.
And what's happening is really Satan playing on your mind.
Yeah.
Because Satan is really planting doubt. He's planting the seed of doubt in your mind. And how he operates, what he does is gradually. You know, and you know what I learned from a person that fell out the truth. But guess what? He was right. He used to always say it. He was like, look, the way Satan gets you, he gradually break you down. And to the point you may not realize the change. Now you're doing things you would never do before. Maybe it was small change. Comfortable with that change, you start doing it more, and then it escalates to doing other shit. Before you know it, you slowly ain't here no more, and then you out. That's it. And the person that's always telling me this, guess what? It happened to him. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That.
Colossians 3:1. If ye then be risen with Yahweh Shai, seek those things which are above, where Yahweh Shai sitteth on the right hand of the Most High. Set your affection on things above, not on things on the earth.
it's too much focus on earthly things than the spiritual, than the kingdom. All right, the things that's pertaining unto salvation, righteousness, spiritual things, you know. And then you get distorted in your mind because you lacking faith. You're not tapping into the spirit. You're not taking that healthy dose, that daily dose of the spirit, so you can maintain even when them temptations do come and you err a little bit in your mind, or you in a folly type of mood. You're gonna always come back to the scripture. But
It says, "For you are dead, and your life is hid."
you gotta always understand that you dead and your life is hid. All right.
Have a life.
You don't have a life.
You ain't supposed to be driving an M6 or an M8.
Hey, but even if you are the mindset is that you gotta have the mindset that that's just earthly things. Those passive away. Because brothers got nice things, brothers got houses and things may be. It don't matter. The main thing is the main thing. And that same thing, you gotta keep it as the main thing. You know? It says when first love, there you go.
When Yahweh Shai, who is our life, shall appear, then shall you also appear with him in glory.
That's right. And if you want that glory, you want to be justified with Yahweh Shai, you can think. You're going to make this truth the main thing. Whatever happens, how falls under that, you know?
Matthew chapter 26:41. Watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation.
You got it.
The spirit the spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak.
The spirit indeed is willing, you know?
And during this when Yahweh Shai was going through anxiety.
Yeah.
And he was telling Peter, they got mad at Peter, you know, he asked him to stay up there, wait. But Peter's eyes kept getting heavy, he kept falling asleep. But the reason that was happening because that was the Most High showing Yahweh Shai, like, you got to go through this by yourself. You know, this is just a lone thing you have to deal with. Right? So Yahweh Shai had battles in the mind. You know, he never sinned. But he had to battle that.
This is Proverbs chapter 17 and verse 22. A man's heart doeth good like a medicine, but a broken spirit drieth the bones.
Yeah, that's not the crutch, that's that woe is me, that's the spirit. All right? You can't let this, but when you in that state, you letting this place take you. That's the lack of hope, that's the lack of faith. You don't see nothing beyond this. Get it? Because if I ain't had this truth, I'm like these beasts in the world, like Jacob.
Playing the traps out your mind.
Yeah, bugged up, yeah. Or, you know what I mean? Or trying to do whatever it is to try to get that type of peace. You know?
That was it.
Oh, that was it.
Sirach chapter 2. I'm going to go straight to I'm going to read it from the top. So 2 verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure.
Temptation is the best. Set your heart aright and constantly endure. Being endured, to endure is to be made hard. So how you gonna be made hard? It's in the mind. It starts in the mind. You gotta fortify your mind. You know? You gotta have a strong spirit to be in this truth. Honestly, there's a lot of things that, Satan, you might look at the brother, but why he looking at it like that? You know what I mean? That demons jump in your mind, ego tripping, all types of bullshit.
Yeah, you know what? The demons playing into your trauma.
Yeah, exactly.
And the word trauma means wound. And what happened is, a lot of kids got trauma. Something may happen to them as a child. Maybe they never got enough attention as a child. Maybe they got born as a child. Or maybe they was told they were never good enough as a child. Whatever it is, it's something that wounded them in their mind that carries on with them for the rest of their adulthood. And them demons plays into these memories. And that person with that trauma, the demons make that person feel everything's associated with that.
Right,
so now somebody look at you a certain way, or let's say a person was always picked on, and now a person may actually bump into you. Now them demons jump in his mind like somebody misuse him, abuse him again, and he just wild the fuck out and beat the dude half to death because you bullied. And them demons, my point is them demons, they know how to bring back these memories in your head.
Amplified too. Everything's amplified.
And them demons start have you seeing things that's not even there. You start reading to things that's not even there. You know, you think somebody looking at you talking shit, they not even paying you no mind.
Right.
That's them demons. Huh?
That's a schizo demon.
That's schizo. Man, look, I'm not saying like, you know, we go to these spirits, but we still in the flesh.
Right.
You know, that's what understanding comes in too. You know, certain things, you know, a brother may do something, or you might see something. You know, like, look, that's still spirits. And maybe that brother's fighting a certain spirit that he, you know, he haven't fully conquered yet, but it's still spirits, and everybody got their own spirits they battling. You know, we're not complete yet, but we work towards completion. Because the word perfection really means to be complete. And we're not perfected right now. We're perfected in faith. Go ahead.
You see the demons with your mind. Now, demons could bring up memories, traumas, but the demon can also alter the memory to make it seem that it was worse than it actually was. So that's what's called intelligence.
That's
And then I was with this, you know, and demon can push in your head with your voice.
Yeah.
And like, what the fuck was that? But to combat these demons, we do what? Go to these scripts. And we fight these demons off because these demons want to operate in the realm of unrighteousness. But as long as you stay in the realm of righteousness, you rebuke these demons. And they, you know, resist the devil, he should what? Flee. So we resist the body in the scriptures. So, you know, it's that time. And we're going to close. We're going to say,
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash.
Lord willing, next week, Shalom. All right. Let's do this quick.